Welcome.
What's up,
Welcome back to another show.
Episode 22. Oh man, it keeps flying. It keeps flying. It's awesome. We can't thank you guys enough for watching and everything we've heard from people. It's just a blast. So we don't gotta waste any time. Everybody knows the drill. We just talked about it on the last episode. We're about to hit with Taylor a little bit a couple episodes ago, and then we got David here and then Jeremy. We're about to hit all of our sponsors coming on the podcast, and we're extremely excited about that. But we truthfully couldn't do it without them. So obviously, Taylor Sins episode was a couple episodes ago. He's a hilarious guy, great guy. Check him out. Go support the business, help him out. He helps out a lot of firefighters, does some great stuff. Thank him so much. Jeremy Sanders, he is, I believe, our next episode, if I'm not mistaken. Just great to have him back on. He was the first guest, coming full circle 1 year later, just a little over. Great guy to talk to. We got to hang out with him a little bit in Georgia, and can't thank him enough for all of his help. And of course, our current guest today, which we've been really excited for, David, founder of JobTown Graphics. JobTown Graphics has been helping us out with the logo, all the fun stuff that started this process off, made us look all official. So
yeah, now we're official.
Yeah, absolutely. We can't thank all of them enough, and I'm going to stop blabbing, and we'll go bring him in right now. So, David, welcome.
Welcome on.
Too.
Yeah. Lucky you
Welcome
too.
on.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for coming on. For everybody, the first thing, kind of, do you want to give an introduction for yourself?
Yeah, my name's David. I own JobTown Graphics. I started about 2 years ago, and end of 2021, I'd say really 2022, doing graphics for the fire service, ambulance corps, military, police departments. And I didn't think I'd be where I am right now. Honestly, it was just something to do for fun, and now I do it as a full-time job. And I wouldn't trade it for the world. It's been fantastic. Yeah. I meet so many awesome people every single day, and everyone has the same exact mindset as me, and they just want to help the fire service, and that's why we're here.
Heck yeah.
Awesome. Well, yeah, like we said in the beginning, we thanked everybody. We're going on a little sponsor spree here with, I think, all three of them coming in the next 2 months or so. But we can't thank you enough. We try and thank every episode. I know we've as appreciative as we can be with all the stuff that you've done for us. But actually, shoot, they're in my truck. I wanted to show off the coins. You got the coins by you? Otherwise, we'll find something out. We just got these made up. So David was awesome with getting these set up. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
We just got these challenge coins made up. They will not be for sale. The only way you're going to get your hands on one of these is by being a guest on the podcast. So that was our little token. We're going to be reaching out to all of our old guests. We're gonna if you were a guest earlier, you're going to get one. So those of you watching, don't worry. But that's something we wanted to do. Just make it really unique, really special, because we can't thank anybody who comes on the podcast enough. And I mean, we can't thank you enough for helping us out with that, with the logo, with getting us all started. So
glad to help out. It came out
awesome. Perfect. Well, if you kind of know how the order, how our kind of flow goes here, we got some generic questions we're going to ask you that we try and ask everybody, just about the fire service, about getting into it, being brand new. And then we got some personal ones, and then the show will be yours to come up with some to end the episode. So
hit me. I'm ready.
Without further ado, we got our first one. Still talking about yourself a little bit. How did you end up in the fire service?
Man, so I was a junior firefighter in 2011, and I rode my bike to the firehouse all the time. I knew my friend's dad was in the fire department, so we were allowed to go to the firehouse all the time with our bikes. Got me to join the juniors. I was that loser junior that had flashing lights on his bike and would respond to calls and get yelled at all the time by actual members. Finally joined as an EMT and then switched over to fire. The only person in my family that's a firefighter is my cousin, who is a FDNY firefighter. But he was a big mentor for sure in the fire service, because anything I would do, I have someone to talk to about it and who understands exactly what we're going through. And so that I just did because it was awesome. I mean,
yeah, sure.
The adrenaline rush, oh man, can't trade it for anything in the world.
Oh, absolutely.
And helping people, right?
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it Yeah, 2011 I started, and then joined in 2012 as a probie. Then in 2014 I became a rescue lieutenant, and then from there I've been an officer ever since. 2017 or 18 I became engine lieutenant, and then during COVID was captain, and then I left that department, joined another department where I'm now lieutenant there, very quickly.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's a brief version of that. And juniors was a big thing of mine. I was chairman of the juniors. I know you're heading the juniors. Well, are you still?
So Brennan's kind of slipped into my spot there.
I
guess, yeah, this is the first episode officially. I have since moved fire department. So I am back home where I grew up, Fond du Lac. And I started there last week was my first week. So, but I'm very familiar with the department. My dad was from there, and I'm hopefully going to be involved. We call them explorers here. Hopefully going to be involved with that pretty quick off of my academy, it sounds like. So
that's great.
It's been a passion, and I'm really excited for the right now, the promise that I'll get to keep that up. So
yeah, that's awesome. So juniors that's huge in the fire service. It's recruitment's an issue, retention's an issue. Getting those junior firefighters joined in the department is huge because they're going to stay.
Yeah,
50%, even if it's 3 members, that's 3 members that is guaranteed to join the department, and they know you train with them. They know exactly how it's going to be, and that's exactly what you need. And unfortunately, my department here, we're very small. We have like 100 calls a year, and recruitment's tough. It's a small little community here, but we haven't started that. So hopefully, I think it's getting approved within the next month or two, a juniors program, which I'll run and get that going for the community, because membership is hurting like every department across the
Yeah, that's exactly where I started, on a very small volunteer department that had a cadet program. I mean, we're roughly, I think there were about 300 when I joined, but still low call volume, and a lot of that was EMR stuff too. So in terms of fire, it was only really 100 fires calls a year. But yeah, that was where I got my start in there too. So it's great. It doesn't matter what size you are. That junior, like you said, it's such a good program.
It is, and a good group of kids, and it was just you were safe when you were in the juniors. You weren't hanging out with bad people. You had some good mentors, the senior members of the fire department, and teaching you the good and bad, per se.
Absolutely.
But yeah, wouldn't trade it for the world.
Awesome. So going back in time a little bit, when you first got on the job, right off of juniors, I'd say, what did you do as a new member to earn the respect of your crew?
Listen, and listen. That's really it. You listen to all these people, what they have to say, the trainings, and just soak it all in, and just speak last. Don't even speak there with people. You might get yourself in trouble. I mean, ask good questions and stuff, but stay away from the drama with that. And once you start training and soaking all these people's knowledge, you just run with it, and you gain the knowledge. You create your own techniques, and yeah, that's what I say to everybody, really, and just come out for calls. My whole career was volunteer, so nothing paid. So that's why I say come out for calls, because that's the only way you gain experience, if you're out there doing it and not just skating.
Yeah,
not just in it for the T-shirt or anything. I mean, we in Beaver Dam, we had the same thing. We had PO part-timers, so if it really helped when they came out to calls. When you didn't, you kind of looked around, because we relied on them for extra hands. And you're like, oh shit,
exactly.
And stuff happens, vacations, holidays, and stuff. But yeah, that's great advice.
Exactly.
Next up, what do you think brings a crew together the best?
I think hanging out at the firehouse is big and key, in doing all those big events together. Hanging out outside the firehouse together, and going on calls. I mean, you guys, you do it with them, so you get that like relationship. Like you see the ugly and you see like the best things. If you do it together and you have something to talk about and you connect with someone, that's the way to do it. Yeah, it's camaraderie, and that's why I started JobTown Graphics because it brought people together. People would decide on the graphics what they want to do for a logo, what they want to do for a patch, make a shirt design, whatever. It brings everyone together, trying to agree. I mean, some people fight with it on what it should be and what it shouldn't be. You have the old timers who don't want to change, but it brings everybody together. I mean, just seeing people saying it was kick ass, like this is an awesome design. That's what brings everybody together, which is lacking in the fire service. I feel like there's some members who give some younger members shit for things, and it hurts them, and they don't want to come out for calls. And this is what brings everybody together. You got to be on the same.
Yeah, you really don't want to demoralize anybody right as they're getting started, because it's.
That's what's happening. You got to keep them in. They're in the door.
Yep. I remember being an intern or being in school, and you'd hear like the senior guys, you'd be like, "Oh, it's been slow. I wish we had a fire or something." And you hear the older guys like, "Oh, once you get my age, the excitement's gone." It's like, no, I never want that excitement to be gone. Exactly. Like that's, you can give me shit for it. I don't care. Farkle is what we call it a little bit down here, but especially
Don't you remember that? Like the first calls you ever went on, that feeling? Oh man,
it's amazing. Yeah,
that was just great. Oh,
yeah,
indescribable. It's that's what you do on every single call, though.
Yeah. Exactly. You want to keep that energy, keep that passion. You fought so hard. A lot of us, we train, we go through a lot of shit to get to where we are, to get even volunteer side. We talk a lot about in career. We have a lot of career guys. We also have volunteer guys, and it's just as important, but it's just as the same. I mean, you still got to take the class. You still got to go to the trainings.
Yep. It's not big fires.
Yeah, exactly. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Our next generic question that we have started asking everybody, and we don't give much explanation, so you take this however you want, is why are we here?
Why are we here? I think we're all here for the same reason. We love the fire service. We want to see it exceed and get new members and share the knowledge with other people, help the community. That's why we're here. We're trying to make a difference and keep this fire service going. I mean, it's decreasing everywhere. It's hard to join. People have 3 jobs just to try and make a living for volunteer service, and its requirements are difficult, for sure. So we're here for that. We're trying to keep the fire service alive and not let it go downhill. That's why we're here.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
I like that answer.
Yeah. It's a huge part. We said volunteer. I mean, it's what 80%, I think, of the fire service is volunteer.
I think it's like 80% of the nation is volunteer.
Yeah.
A huge number.
Yeah, and you're right. It is going down. People are taking second jobs, third jobs, and time with your family, which is of course important. Yeah. But then joining a volunteer department's rough. It's
your meetings, your trainings, your standbys, your calls. I mean, it's a lot to ask for, but responsibility in life is increasing. You got kids too, and it's hard. It's really hard.
Yeah, but, it really is.
Yeah.
That's awesome. As long as you make a atmosphere, environment of where these people want to come in, like you said, breed them young, where they come in and you breed that passion into them, that drive for the fire service. I mean, that's going to be your best bet, because some people, they will go career, they'll leave your volunteer side, or maybe they'll become lifers, and that's what you need, is those guys that go get a different job, whatever that pays the bills, but they have that drive for the fire service still.
Yeah. And they'll always make it back. If they're lifers, they will always be there. Which
absolutely,
they're hustling hard in life and still going on calls and teaching the young.
Absolutely,
those guys. Yeah.
Well, awesome. So that was the end of our kind of generic questions. I got some really great insight on there. But we love asking the same ones to everybody, because everybody gives such different insight to the same questions, and it's so
good.
Great.
That's good. I think Taylor had I forgot what his answer was, but it was so funny. I forgot what it was.
Taylor's?
Yeah, for his last question.
that guy, all the commercials in the background, the fish. He is what you exactly expect from him when you see. Like,
I wish I had that personality.
Media. Oh, yeah, he is a good personality.
He's great. I hope we get to meet him in person one day, because I can't. The bar was here. It went here, and now I can only assume in person he's just as goofy and off the rails. But
I mean, look at his posts are just hilarious.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Like, who
I
thinks
didn't know.
that? It's amazing.
We need to have him back on because I need to ask if like he's his own like graphic editor and stuff.
100%.
The photoshopping like that he does. Like, do you have pay someone to do that, or are you that good?
Yeah, instantly.
Maybe maybe you should reach out. Maybe get a little collab on
I've
that.
helped him a couple times. Not for his normal post though.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, I mean, kind of still talking about that area. Our first question for you is, how did you get into graphic design?
Yeah, so I actually went to school for that. I went
wow.
to Long Island University. My degree was digital art and design, and yeah, I learned all these programs before even college. So college was just to brush it off and get my degree, and I did that for a living, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just use my skill because with my other fire department, I did this all the time. I mean, I was making flyers, making the social media posts, all these different things. And I'm like, wait a second, all these other departments don't have a me. Like, I have to offer this and help these guys out. So I started helping out people in my neighboring departments. And I'm like, wait a second, this is actually something here. And this is a need. And people are just, no one knows how to do this stuff. And especially if you're a firefighter, you understand the talk about it.
I'm the last person to know anything about graphic design.
Exactly. That's why I'm a
Brennan's an old soul. We've talked about before. He's the little technology challenge. Is that what?
Yeah, Bryce does pretty much everything. I just sit and watch him and try to learn it, but fuck, man.
You gotta have that friend though.
That's right.
I know. I told my new chief when I went to the department. I was like, hey, he's like, can I keep doing the podcast? Are we okay with that? And he was like, oh, absolutely. I said, Brendan is gonna love to know that he doesn't have to learn this shit. I was like, that's the biggest thing. Brendan was just gonna be on his own, sitting there like one finger typing.
Are you a one finger person?
I can actually type now. I think I blame it on the EMS reports I have to do all the time. They really taught me my typing skills, but anything else, I cannot do anything. So
that's too funny. I know your type. It's a good type.
But yeah, I mean that's awesome that you identified that need for graphic design, because there needs to have that creativity to express. We all a little creative, but we gotta find a way to express that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I like helping people out who just don't have those resources. You have these small departments out west, and they don't know this stuff. They're just they need help, which is why I love helping them. That's why speaking to all these people across this nation is incredible. Because I always go they always message me when I say, where are you from? And I look them up. I'm like, oh my God, you're from here. There's three houses in this area.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yes.
Brendan, keep going. What do you got?
No, yeah, I started. I went to college for it, and here I am.
Awesome. Brendan, you want to take this next question since this was you're curious?
Oh yeah. Do you draw every logo by hand, or you use computer programs?
Every design is hand drawn.
Holy smokes!
Holy shit!
Yeah, hand drawn with unlimited revisions.
Yeah, I know that one. Like,
but
oh my gosh, I can't imagine that, because I know we were even a little bit of a pain with our logo.
No.
Yeah,
honestly,
but
there's not one department that's a pain. I mean, you're spending money to try and get this drawn out. It needs to be perfect. Like, I would be upset if it's not looking good. I mean, there's nothing stock. There's nothing all of that. If it's like a simple design I'll tell them like, listen, I can do this for this much. It's much less. I'll use some stock images. Then yeah, for sure. But 97% of it is hand drawn.
Holy shit! That's impressive as all hell.
That's big.
Yeah,
that is crazy.
Yeah, I don't know any of that. Like we said, I don't know any of the graphic design. So like, when you said unlimited revisions, that's kind of what I imagine is you got some stock images, like some future or past designs that you've
I Google images and I'm like an old horse-drawn engine carriage. So I'm like, okay, I look it up and there's a picture and I have the picture there. You start tracing it. You're going back and forth. You do all those things. It's all hand-drawn. That's why I ask for, like, give me a picture of your rig. Give me a picture of exactly what you're talking about. That statue that's in your main street town.
Holy shit.
Let me use that. That's what you have to do. A specific train in your area that you want to use. That
makes so much sense now. Like, right there. that one, our shift one, like, oh, it's so ass backwards when I'll like try to point at this, but I'll be like, oh yeah, right here.
Yeah,
Over the shoulder. Like, son of a. But no, like our shift logo, the tech rescue team, like that's so cool. That explains so much because I guess I never kind of processed that. But I know for the shift logo, you asked for a picture of our downtown.
Yeah,
and that's, exactly. Wow.
Yeah, so the patches are hand drawn. The rig illustrations, that's tracing it. I mean, that takes 5 to 6 hours to do. Shape by shape. So you go in there and you're drawing that little headlight. You're drawing the little shadow in the headlight. You're drawing the little highlights in this headlight. That type of stuff. Then I just started those realistic illustrations. Yeah. I think I just posted one today that was scheduled of a department out in Colorado. That takes like 50 hours to do, and that's like 15,000 layers there to make that realistic look. It's so cool, though.
It is very cool. So it is. I don't think I have the patience for that.
No,
I can barely draw a stick person.
Yeah, and that goes right into like our next question because I've been thinking this ever since you started talking about all these logos. What does a normal day look like for you?
Oh man, do you really want to know?
Yeah.
Okay. So right now, I get 250 messages that I have to get back to every single day. That's every day. So I'll give you the summary. 250 messages each day to get back to. I have about 300 plus projects in the works. I have a print shop to operate and artwork. I drop my son off. I have a 2-year-old son at daycare at 6:30 in the morning. He's at that door at 6:30 in the morning. I get home within 15 minutes. I shove down breakfast and I go through my emails. Then I go through my Messenger, my Facebook Messenger messages. Then I go through my Instagram messages, and that's it. Like, I'm so busy that I can't even respond to the multiple. Like, if someone messages me, I can't get back to them right away. I have to wait for like the next day. I have to keep going in this order, or I'm going to be completely screwed with timeline and all this stuff. So once I finish my Instagram, I try and get like a quick workout, eat some lunch, start doing artwork all the way down to like, I don't know, 3. Then I start doing some production, and then I pick up my son and I work at night, and that's it. That's every single day. I was sick for 2 days. This past 2 days, it was torture not being able to do anything because I was like bedridden. It was so bad. Wow. And like it's so hard to answer phone calls when people ask me to speak on the phone. I'm like I can, but like let's just speak in the email. Like it's so much easier. Yeah. I'll speed through it, and that's the way I do it. So I do have artists working for me. I have about 8 artists working for me now. I'm just so overwhelmed that I just need.
That was going to be my follow up. Was you still do it all on your own?
No, I can't handle it by myself. It's insane. It's insane. Yeah, and I have a couple people in the back end here helping me. But yeah, it's tough. Life is, and
wow.
I'm a father. He's 2 years old. Terrible twos is happening. I have the fire department here and different other responsibilities everywhere, and it's a lot.
That was a wow.
Holy shit.
That's why we scheduled for that day. I'm like, I don't know. I have Thursday off, Friday off, Saturday, Sunday off. I don't know if I can do the next day. Like, this is
no, that's totally fine. It worked out. It worked out well. We made it work, and I can't thank you enough for that because I can't imagine how busy you are.
Yeah, but, and like some people, like they'll message me. Like I could see right here. I have tons of messages I have to get back to, and like I try and as they send it throughout the day, and if I send them something and I go to the next message because I'm quick, like I'll say, hey, I want to do this. Okay, so this is money. Off to the next. That's it. If I start scrolling quickly, like after the next person, I see that they answered, I will respond back. If it's urgent, of course I'll respond back.
Yeah.
I see all the emails on my phone as they come in. But yeah, I mean, it's a lot of work, but I love it. I absolutely love it. It's stressful. Yeah. It's just so much fun.
Yeah. You're passionate about it? Heck yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. So I mean, because I didn't know that you had any artists working with you. I'm gonna throw in this extra one there. What kind of culture? What do you look for in the artist? What kind of culture do you feel you bring to your work service that you have for them?
Yeah. So all my artists are all remote, and I know each one of them personally of what their skill level is, if they could draw, if what they could do, because that's, as an artist, you know that, and that's how you find people to try and work with.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they have vacation days, they have time off. It's all, I give them work, and then just get it done. That's it. Like, do whatever you want during the day, just as long as it's done, it's perfectly fine. Because you know how firefighters are, right? You give them a 4-week turnaround time. Like, oh my god, and they're like, okay, it's quality work. They'll wait a little bit. Yeah. So sometimes I have to push them. Sometimes I have to say, no, that's not what's looking good. Some are in the fire service, which is really, really excellent. They know what a Halligan is. They know what a Scott Pack is. Like, they know all these different things that helps you. I mean, yeah. I think that's a good answer. I mean, I love my employees, and they love me. So it's a good environment. It's a good environment.
That's good. I mean, what's that?
And we're only expanding, so good things in the future.
I can't imagine that. I mean, 250 messages a day. Yeah, you're expanding. I'd say that's crazy.
Yep.
Like, it explains so much, which is awesome. Like, I'm glad you can share that story, because
I wish I could tell everybody, like, listen, sorry, I'm going to message you now, but tomorrow I might not respond today. Like, it's just don't give up on me, that type of thing. Sometimes they'll put that question mark at me. I'm like, relax.
Tell them to watch the podcast, and they will.
Exactly.
There we go. Well, shameless plug. There we go.
Exactly.
But, no, that's awesome. And I kind of want to touch on, because you talked about knowing their strengths, because we brought it up a couple of times. I think we talked about last episode with our captain, but in the fire service, being an officer, knowing your crew's strengths and having that, I thought it was really cool. It was kind of a click moment that you were talking about, knowing your artist strength, where you're basically doing the same thing, just on the kind of civilian side, where it can apply.
That's huge. I mean, you know your members. I mean, I've been an officer for basically my whole entire fire service career. You got to know each person's strengths and their weaknesses, and they might not be the best EMT, right? They might not be the best nozzle man. So you know where to put them. You know how to use them. They're great at planning events. All right, there you go. There's your event person. I mean, you can't just shame them, and if they're not strong in one area.
Yeah,
that's with the business too. I mean, every person's unique. Everyone has their different personalities, and everyone could bring something to the fire service. Everyone has something to do, from all walks of life, for sure.
Absolutely. Well, our last personal question before we flip the tables and turn it to you. Well, we got your question from our captain, but then it's your job to create one. Okay. What was the biggest learning curve? I know you said you've been one basically since you started, but what was the biggest learning curve promoting and switching departments?
What was the first question? The first part of it?
What was the biggest learning curve that you had to handle when you promoted and when you switched departments?
Yeah, so this is a big one. So I joined the fire service. I joined as a member when I was 18 years old. 18, 19, 20. 20 years old, I became an officer.
Wow.
Biggest thing was all these senior guys listening to me. Very hard. Very, very hard to do. Because these guys have been there for 10 years, 10, 15 years, 50 years, whatever the case would be. Now they're going to listen to this 19, 20-year-old. Like, if I was in their shoes, I'm not listening to you. I mean, you gain respect by giving them respect and knowing what you're doing. You have to have the knowledge to become an officer. You have to know what you're doing, train, and teach people. And that's what it all became down to. I mean, they saw that I meant business and I wasn't a bullshitter with anything, and I wasn't immature, that type of stuff. Then you gain the respect. You include them. They're your mentors. Yes, they're your members at one point, but you have to listen to them too. If they give you advice, sit there. Don't be on your phone. Don't be looking the other way. All those different things. Listen to them. Look at them, and take in what they say. Talk to them back. That's how you gain respect. That's how you gain respect as a young officer in the fire service, because that's what it is now. All these officers, these chiefs, they're young. I was young. I think it was one other person back then that was the youngest officer in my department, and then I was like the next one that was the youngest, that's huge in a fire service. Another hurdle I had was coming out as gay. I mean, I was a fire officer for that, and people, my family was worried about, like, once they pushed me down a hallway. I'm like, no one's gonna push me down a hallway. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. No.
This is a family. It's not like how it was back then. That was a huge thing. But yeah, everyone was perfectly fine with it. I mean, it brought us even closer. I mean, you gave it back to them. They would make a joke at you. Oh, you just give it back to them. Make it awkward. It's okay. They love it. You become closer. It's fantastic. It's great.
That's awesome. Make it awkward. I love that. That's such a great, like, don't be a shitbag, make it awkward. I like the.
There we go. I like it.
Like, yeah. Like, oh, what's happening over there? Don't bend down. Like, oh God, you got to cut that out.
No, it's great. It's great. I love it. The don't, or make it awkward. That's awesome.
Yeah, you got to give it back. That's how you gain the respect too.
Absolutely.
That was a big hurdle. Next part was in a new department. Yeah, I didn't want to join again, believe it or not. Did it for almost 10 years in my previous department. You know, volunteer service, there's a lot of politics and issues that are just like, why are we fighting over this? This is absolutely crazy. Moved out of district, bought a nice house and just relax. Like, this is great. I have to wake up every 4 nights on duty crew to go for Gam who fell in the bathtub at 3 o'clock in the morning. Like, this is great. I could sleep. This is no, like, your heart's not racing after a call and you have to sleep for the rest of the night. Like, none of that. And then, like, the chief over here knows who I am and kind of like forced me to use my knowledge and join again. So I mean, it was big. I best decision again doing it. Different style here. There's no politics. There's no drama. Great group of guys. Great community. Great department. Fantastic. Difficult. I don't think it was difficult. I mean, I come with a lot of knowledge and experience, so that's what they liked that I joined with. And I help out trainings all the time, give them life experiences that I've been through to teach them different techniques, hose handling. I mean, all these tricks and with hallway and going up the stairs. They don't know this. They just go to the fire academy. We don't have that many calls here, unlike the previous department. So yeah, I mean, I don't think there was a big hurdle. I think the biggest hurdle was adjusting to a different atmosphere for me. I was used to something like strict and like semi-militaristic, and now it's like calm and slow paced and different people. I'm like the youngest here.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the volunteer fire service nowadays. You either got your guys that have been there for 30, almost 40 years some places, and you've got like the 2-year people. Like,
exactly.
I think in my old volunteer department, that's exactly what's going on right now. Is they've got all old guys, you know, that they're very seasoned, and then they got all these new guys just right out of school trying to get some experience.
Even, I mean, speaking of new guys, I mean, it's not just young. I mean, I know we're going through a whole bylaw change with increasing our age limit, age limit. So, I mean, we have people who are asking to join who are 50 plus, and how do you say no to that? I mean, yes, our bylaw was from 1930 or 1940, and it says you can't be the age. No, times have changed. It's 2024. But you know, who are the guys that you know that are just incredible? They're older than 50 years old. They're older than 60 years old, and they're doing it. They're pulling that hose. They're breaking down that door. They're the ones doing all this. So how do you say no to that? That's something to consider when you're with the department. Just increase that age. I mean, some people are against it, some people are for it, but it's something to think about. And same with the juniors. You have the juniors from 12 years old to, or if it's 13 years old in whatever department, and they could join at 18 years old, lower it. They could join at 12 years old instead. And then if they're a junior for a year, they could join at 17 years old. But you have these boundaries. You have to, if they're in school, school's first. If they have a job, job's first, family's first. Give the department your schedule at school. They know when you have a test. Don't be at the firehouse. You have to go home and study.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Those type of things. You got to get those different spectrums of members.
absolutely. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I mean, that kind of breezed through our main questions, but it's perfect. We're doing good on time, and we got a twofer from our captain. So you got a little time to answer both of them. He asked one for the JobTown side and one for your fire service side. So his first question was for JobTown, and what was your overall goal with the graphics? You know, when you created it, what was your overall goal?
It was literally just to bring back pride and morale. That's really it. That's the whole goal. I mean, it was at an all-time low with these departments, and just got to increase it like that. I mean, it brings everybody together. Everyone comes together to create these graphics, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Station pride, shift pride, department pride. It's all,
Exactly.
It's all great. It's pride's in damn near every fire department's
Exactly.
mottos or values, and you gotta have
just like you're washing the truck. Yeah, it's just like you're washing the trucks every single week, doing all these, cleaning those tools, you're getting the rust off. That's it. That's exactly it. It's just now it's design and putting that design on your truck, on your shirt, on your hat, all those different things.
Yeah.
You're proud of it to wear it out in public.
Yeah.
That's it. I didn't know I'd be doing this right now. Not a chance. I had no idea it was gonna become this big. I just went with the flow and I'm like, oh my God, this is now bigger than I thought. But yeah, pride, camaraderie, and morale. That's why I started JobTown Graphics.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Perfect. His follow-up for the fire service was, what are some ways that you can relate to this newer generation coming up in the fire service? So being, like you said, teaching, it seems like you got a little flip now. It's something you got maybe older generation, but I mean, it's the same thing. How do we bridge that generational gap?
Working together. You just need to, starting as juniors, working together. You have those 50-year members, 30-year members, being with the juniors and working together. I don't know any other way to answer that.
Yeah, I think we just gotta find that common ground between the two generations and find that common ground.
And be open. I mean,
you have to fight for the common ground most days, but when you find it, it's there.
It is.
And that's when you find working with each other.
Exactly.
Sharing your different experiences. And coming together as one.
Great opinions to offer.
Mm-hmm.
You have to listen and hear everybody out. Change is happening, and you gotta deal with it.
Yeah, being open to change, and
we hate changing the way things are, right? That's that lifelong model that'll probably still be true when Brennan and I retire.
Exactly.
But it's crazy because we talked about it before with that generational gap and stuff. Like Brennan says, sometimes you have to fight for it, but it feels kind of dumb at the end of it when you fight for an hour or two and find out you both were meaning the exact same thing, just saying the different words.
language. Yeah.
That's service. That's it.
It's crazy.
Man.
More than once, and it'll happen many times again before I'm done. I'll probably be guilty of it just as much in 20 years. So,
but then at the end, you just laugh about it. You're like, "This is what we just did."
Wow.
We could have said this an hour ago, and we could have been in the recliners eating ice cream an hour earlier.
I still think there needs to be a TV show that just follows these stations to see what is talked about and just
we'd get canceled.
We would get canceled right away.
We would get it would one episode would air, the community, the public would hate us, and we would be done.
Even if it's just for the fire service to see, it would be hilarious.
That's what people. I think that's what the public doesn't want to know is rescue me. That's the firehouse.
Right?
And everyone's like, oh, it's so raunchy. It's a drama. It's like, no, that's the firehouse. That is the scientists, bodybuilder, fitness gurus that you think come when you call 911. But oh man, yeah. If only they knew.
Yeah, and it's trying to explain to outsiders, and they're like, what? I'm like, never mind.
Nobody gets a fire service humor than a firefighter. There's no you can't bring that here. But you bring it out with personal friends around the campfire, and they're like, "Oh shit, wrong group of friends."
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody laughed. I forgot. We're not at the firehouse.
Oh man, so true, so true.
Well, yeah, I mean that does it for all of our questions for you. So
Awesome.
now is the guest's favorite time where we put you on the spot, and you have to come up with a question for our next guest, who is Jeremy Sanders of Crew First Culture. Just an all around amazing dude. You want to talk about some passion and some drive? He's going to go really into that on our next one, and I can't wait to have him on. But yeah, what question would you have for him? Either that you wished you would have asked as a new firefighter, or that you still have now.
Oh man, I wasn't prepared for this. You gotta give
You said you've seen some of the episodes. And
I wrote down a whole entire iPhone note, and I'm like, that's not one of my things yet. Oh man. Let's throw it at recruitment. What are you doing to try and get new members to join the department, whether it's paid or volunteer?
I like it. I think we all need that little guidance through this tough time finding new people.
Actually, I'm gonna talk about that for a second because I want to
tell
the world about this. What has worked for me in the past with another previous department, and what has worked recently with my new department as of a month ago, was a genuine letter to the community. This is for I guess the volunteer side. It's a genuine letter saying, "Hey, we need you. The calls have increased. Our personnel has decreased. Our members are aging out. All these different reasons. Hurricane Sandy happened.
Yeah.
Calls increased. They're getting more intense. Whatever the case would be, a genuine letter to your community saying we need help and volunteers. That goes such a long way from your chief of department, any other chief. That's huge. You put a letter, handwritten signature in their mailbox. They will contact you. I'd say on our very, very small community that we have, we got 5 new members within the past months because of it.
Wow. Yeah, that's
a letter. Not that Instagram post saying we need volunteers, free training, free college credit, all those things. Yeah, keep doing that. They have to know about that. But a real letter telling them we need you. This is getting bad. Which it's getting bad. These calls are increasing everywhere. And we need volunteers.
We do.
So that's another little tip that I'd share with
absolutely.
That's a big thing. And people don't do it. Those letters really help.
Yeah.
Did you just mail them out then to the different?
Mail them out. It was separately. I mean, if you guys don't want to do it separately, if you guys have a fund drive, stick it with the fund drive mail. But I mean, we didn't mail it out. We were able to split the blocks up with our with our membership, and they walked over to each house. But
that's amazing that you got 5 people though, because
huge.
How you explained that. That's a very small community. That's a huge That's a huge number. I mean, 5 people for quote unquote 3 times your size volunteer department of my little one.
Yeah,
that would be amazing.
They got their physical. They got investigated. They're in. They're in.
Wow, that's awesome.
Wow,
a simple letter. How crazy is that?
I think that time is coming away, but we should bring it back.
Yeah.
I think because it's a way people recognize it a little more. If you haven't seen something in a long time, we're used to all the spam mail that you get. It's here's your credit card, is there, but something like that would catch your eye, where you'd be like, oh, what's this, and read it a little bit, and
you put some heart into it, and you'll get some members. They don't know. They don't know what's with the fire service. They're just living in their house and thinking that everything's fine. You call 911, someone's gonna show up. No, it's your neighbor.
Yeah, that's amazing. So I mean that concludes all the questions that we have for you. Awesome. The last part we have is just where we call the kitchen table. If there is anything that you wanna shout out, anything you want to touch on a little more that we talked about here, any trainings, the kind of floor is yours.
I think I'm good.
Okay.
I think I'm good. Unless you want to talk about anything else.
No, that's fine as well. We got, like I said, we got all of our questions for you. We chased some rabbits, which we love. We talked about that a couple episodes ago, but it's always great. We kind of just like going with the flow and seeing it. So yeah, we hit everything.
Congratulations! Awesome. Forgot to say that.
Oh, thank you.
You're engaged.
Yep. Yes. New department and engagement all happened in a matter of a week. So big good family changes. But
kids next.
Like, hey, you watch that? No.
It's gonna happen.
It's coming.
It's coming.
We got some time.
I didn't think it would happen for me, and it happened very quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, but I appreciate it. Yeah, it's been great. It's been a cool learning curve. It's enjoying going to a new department. I might actually have to start over at episode 1 of this and find all the advice to have for myself. But
there you go.
No, it's been great. We can't thank you enough for helping make this become a thing.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I'm glad about it's for you guys are doing it for the right reason, which is what the reason why I started JobTown Graphics. So both have the same mission. Got to keep spreading it.
Yeah, we didn't think it would get as big as it is now, and it's still in its growth stages, but it's pretty cool. It's cool to go to these conferences, get recognized, and to hear that it actually helped, and that's what we're here for, to share that knowledge and make the fire service better. So
exactly.
Well, thank you very much for coming on. We really enjoyed your time, and you guys check out JobTown Graphics, get some graphics done. You got lots of product you guys can choose from too. Go show him some love. He does some great work. You heard all about it today. So thank you so much for coming on. And as always, everybody, don't be a shitbag.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, man. Don't be a shitbag.
Happy me. I won't.
Peace out.